The following game has been rated T for teen by the ESRB for fantasy violence, mild language, and drug references. That means anyone under the age of 13 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier, and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Starpoint Gemini Warlords. So the premise of Starpoint Gemini Warlords is that you are a starship captain, much like the rest of the Starpoint Gemini series, but in regards to Warlords specifically, there's an added strategy element where you're able to build an entire combat fleet, or fleets if you so desire, send them out on various missions and have them attack various things, all the while you're still commanding your own separate independent ship. That's just how I play the game. You can separate the ships out however you want. I may end up building more than one fleet. Depends upon how the game goes. So that's the basic gist of the series. In terms of this specific game, we play as a former Earth Empire commander, or at least our faction is a splinter faction from the former Earth Empire, which originally fought the residents of the Gemini System in a war of independence some centuries ago, and somebody at some point deployed some, let's call them time and space destroying weapons, because that's exactly what they did. And space is plagued with these astronomical phenomena known as anomalies that yes, that is what an anomaly is, hence the name. But they plague the Gemini system and cause various debuffs, and I think occasionally they actually benefit your ship. They're certainly pretty to look at, I won't lie about that, but usually you want to stay away from them. But they're not the main draw of the game. As I was saying, we're part of a former Earth Empire faction, which is currently trying to just simply build and survive, but we're currently facing threats both outside and in, most notably from a variety of pirate factions and our so-called friendly neighbors that basically pay them money and ships to take us out. And apparently a civil war, or at least a military coup, has now started on the planet that our people call home. Not that we are well vested in these things. We live on a space station where we build all of our ships. And at the end of the last episode, we got access to a battleship, so we're no longer the smallest ship in the fleet. We're now one of the smallest ships in the fleet. But we'll see how that goes. This game is, of course, made by Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin. Okay, so this is us. This is not our battleship. This is the cruiser that we took 2 episodes ago. because the cruiser chapter is apparently ridiculously small, we no longer need it. So let us dock. Let us go to the dry dock, go to loadout, and unmount all of our shiny little guns, because we're moving them to a bigger ship. Then we go to the garage, and select, I almost call it an onion, but the Orion, and we transfer command. So this will be our battleship, because I couldn't actually capture a ship through boarding action. At least not one large enough to suit the purposes of the game. But if we look at loadout, we need to configure the turrets first, because apparently no ship comes with a maximum quantity of turrets anymore. But at a price of 105 per turret, which means to max out the turrets on a facing for this ship, it'll cost 420,000. They better be effective. So now that we have the maximum number of turrets, we just simply go to our guns, which, because we researched a couple ones, some of our best guns are actually made by us. And so we just remount them to the ship, or the new ship. And as I've said before, every time I upgrade to a new ship, which seems to be pretty much every episode, I do like having certain guns in certain places. So the bow cannons are always going to be plasma cannons, or if I can swing it, plasma cannons. I like having the port and starboard, or left and right sides. I use those terms interchangeably. I like having to be roughly the same weapons, and I like the beam weapons the most, so they end up on the port and starboard sides. And then the aft side is usually a railgun, because I like having a balanced, well, if not a balanced mix of weapons, certainly one of each kind, because certain ships have resistances to certain things. Also, we have heavy weapons, so again, and I like matching the heavy weapon to the light weapon, so the fusion torpedo will go with the plasma cannon. Yeah, the shockwave cannons, the ion cannon I think is its actual name, goes with the beam weapons, and then the missiles will go to on the same facing as the railguns, and I do need to rearm the entire ship. This battleship also comes with fighters, and we picked up, I believe, the Mediator class fighter, somewhere in, I think it actually came with the cruiser that we ended up taking. But it's got a higher average damage than most of the other ships, so we shall mount that. Well, if we look at dry dock real quick, so there's basically three different types of fighters: interceptors, fighters, and bombers. I'm assuming interceptors are good against smaller ships and actual fighters, bombers are good against larger vessels, and then the fighters are a kind of average between the two. And since I can only field one type of fighter, I am only going to I'm using the fighters, as opposed to a bomber or an interceptor. And we could also enhance various other things about the ship. Not that I ever actually bother with it, mostly because I change these ships around so frequently I don't actually pay attention to the various extra support equipment I could have equipped to the vessel. So if we then go to customize, we can stamp logos on the ship. I never bothered with that, but it does allow us to change the name of the ship, and much like every other ship, it needs a name, a proud name, a strong name, a name that will strike fear into the hearts of my enemies. Yes, I'm going to name it after a food item, like every other ship that I've done. So call it the pound cake, because I like cake, not as much as I like pie, although they're kind of interchangeable. Okay, so now that we have the ship equipped, as much as I'm willing to do, we rearm the ships. So that way the heavy weapons now actually have ammo to fire and be useful. And I sold all the inventory that I have cargo-wise last episode, mostly because my main source of cargo is destroyed enemy vessels. So it's basically pick up everything, fly back to base, sell it all off. Wonder why the fact that plasma rifles seem to be illegal everywhere, but everybody seems to be carrying them. Flipping through the construction systems for the actual starbase, known as Concordia. So basically the station is built in stages. So on the first stage we have the hangar, which increases, as we upgrade it, increases the number of maximum ships we can personally own, or I can personally own, I should say. That's what the garage is for, and it also allows us to build larger AI ships. And we also have tactical ops, which increases our maximum fleet power, which determines how many AI-controlled ships we can have on the map. Mining ops, I believe, increases the amount of ore that we gain. Also allows for better mining and gas tasks for our civilian fleets to find. Same with the salvage depot, but for materials. We also have research and development, which I can actually upgrade and probably will, which puts science tasks on the star chart, and it lowers research time, although that's still relatively low to begin with. And we also have the trade center, which puts trade tasks on the map. And we also have production plant, which allows us to research foreign ship designs. Basically, if I take a ship that isn't part of my factions fleet, I can send it back to Concordia for it to be researched, and then it can build more AI ships like that. Production plant allows me to do that. And then the logistics center increases the number of civilian fleets that I can have. And it's back to the hub module, which comes in 3 stages. I currently have level 2 built. I need to build level 3, but I need twice as much ore as I actually have, which is amusing considering most of the time I have more ore than anything else. I can't get rid of it fast enough, practically. So let's upgrade the research center. And then can I... No, I actually don't have it used up majority of my materials, so there's that. Then shipbuilding, we can build a variety of ships, at least we could have, had I not spent all my materials on Concordia itself. But we're currently in the process of building a new Zodiac, and we can build various other kinds of ships as well. We can't build any more battleships because in addition to standard command points, which is what the fleet power is, why they don't call it the same thing everywhere, I have no idea. But for super capital ships, which is anything battlecruiser and larger, I have a separate resource pool, and I've already maxed that out. I can apparently also build other ships elsewhere, but for some reason it won't give... I mean, I can build other... I have another starport known as Narix, or at least shipyard, I should say, not starport. But I know it can give me blueprints, it just doesn't tell me. Although apparently I can build just straight up Tars gunships out of it, so... Don't quite know why it's doing that. I'm thinking it's a glitch. But you probably didn't watch this video. You probably didn't start watching this video just to see me dig through menus. I'm sure someone somewhere will eventually watch this video. Probably me. Anyway, so we leave to continue the story.
Captain, come to Concordia. We've got something important to discuss.
Another bug glitch thingy that was, it said first officer, but that was the voice of another character by the name of Rainer Trace. He's the chief science officer of Concordia. He's also basically the guy that handles all the paperwork while we go off gallivanting and playing hero. So let's redock, because that's how this game operates. From a battleship, it's nice and big and pointy. So Rainer Trace simply goes Templar. For some reason, these aren't voice acted. I don't know why. I didn't design the game. Let's continue. So this is us. Our rank is Templar. So what is it you wanted to see me about, Rainer? Now that the dust has settled, I've sent over an advanced recon to Adia, so I'll have a clearer image of what we're up against. Unfortunately, whatever the building isn't there anymore. They must have somehow moved it. Could they actually be so far in construction? It's possible, I don't know, but that's not exactly what I called you here for. The Council, or what's left of it, has reached a decision to commence with Project Proxima. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the part where we build a massive vessel? Yes. Large enough to trigger everyone's memory of the Leviathan. Indeed. Then why are we building it? Never understood the need for having massive, super giant capital weapons. I mean, I know why people want to build them. They're nice and big and all-powerful. But if you only have enough resources to build one, that means it can only be in one place at one time. And God's help me if someone manages to blow it up. Yes, exactly. Same Leviathan that we built and that the Empire sent into Gemini to reconquer it, which triggered a brutal war and thousands of dead? That is correct. Well, of course, I see no reason why we shouldn't. Are they insane? There is no alternative, Templar. There is always an alternative. We can just build a massive fleet of decently sized capital vessels and less than smaller capital vessels and just flood the entire Gemini region with with decently powered ships. Or if we want to go the crazy route, we build a whole bunch of what I like to call smart missiles, which are basically small ships packed with explosives that don't shoot at the enemy because they are the weapon, so they just simply fly into the enemy. But again, I didn't design the game, so I don't get a say. Sure there is. We don't do it. And what if the Black Oath finishes their behemoth and start a rampage through Gemini? Do you really think we won't come back to Fainrod? That's our region. To finish what they started with the Icarus? Then we blow it up with more ships. Then we show the other factions what the Oath is doing. Unlikely. Scent Chuck has been doing a great job convincing everyone exactly the opposite. So you haven't noticed, the Concord isn't winning any popularity contests. Scent Chuck even created a so-called Core Worlds Alliance hell-bent on turning us into dust. Concord is basically a short name for our government. Full name is Solari Concord. Is anyone buying their story? Apparently everybody is. For now, only Helmsford, but others might follow. We need to construct the Proxima to defend ourselves. There is no other way. There's plenty of other ways. Darn it, do we even have the capacity to construct it? Design schematics are done, but we're lacking some key components that I haven't had time to prototype. Of course we are. But you have something in mind. We just steal it from the Oath. Indeed, I've made some connections in the last couple of years. I know where we can obtain parts and data that should help me greatly. Tell me more. Missing several components for the jump drive, the main weapon battery, the central power core, and a whole lot of resources for the main hull. What do you want to know more about? If we don't have enough resources, who does? Counselor Amerix might help with this. From what I gathered, he's been in contact with Outer Lands. Might supply us with enough resources to complete the main hull. The Counselor will know more. Let's talk about something else. Tell me more about the power core. The Ion Tech Corporation is known for their forays into massive power cores, but the Republic is in shambles. I'm not sure if we can get anything from there at this time. Maybe if the Maganut Barony, where Ion Tech is situated, is pacified, then maybe they could help. So we basically have to conquer this barony instead. How do we do that? Maxton contacted me recently. He's on his way there, presumably to ask the Conquered for help. If we help them, they'll help us. Got it. Let's talk about something else. I feel like I misread that last part. No, it actually says presumably to ask the Conquered for help. We're the Conquered, and he works for us now. What does the weapon battery entail? That one's problematic. But I've read some reports that Nixian Consortium constructed a massive vessel years back. Titan class, they called it. I believe that gaining access to the research data on that vessel should help me with this issue. So what, you expect just waltz in there and ask for their classified research data? Apparently he wants us to take it. Of course not. Emmerich has already dispatched a diplomatic note to the Consortium asking for them to send a negotiator to us. The Consortium are, in essence, traders, the barter for anything. Let me know if and when this envoy arrives. Oh, he's already on Feneros. Because, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That was fast. Let's talk about something else. Alright, so where can we get the jump drive for something of that size? Sura Barney has one. I like how he just flat out says, oh, they got one. We need it, so I'm guessing we're just going to take it. Just like that, they have one lying around. Sura used to be an integral part of the Nexus, a fanatically science-oriented faction. One of their inventions was called the catapult. This monstrosity was able to create stable wormholes. To get my hands on the schematics of the catapult, I'm sure I could adapt the design to fit the Proxima. Won't the Proxima have engines? No, it's simply too large for any form of conventional travel. Instead, using controlled hyperspace jumps to move around. Dude, it's space. There's no such thing as too large for conventional travel. You have a bigger ship, you strap a bigger engine to it. It may use fuel like it's it's breathing air, but as I once heard in a sci-fi TV show, it's space. You strap a large enough engine to a brick and a brick will fly. I don't think that was a direct quote. It's been a while since I've seen Babylon 5. Any idea where I should look for the schematics? Try to get an audience with the Baroness Saria Kursk. Baroness Kursk on Sorok. Okay, let's talk about something else. Actually, I don't have any questions. So I'm guessing, unlike the other chapters where it's basically go here and do this, this one has a slightly branching narrative, so I'm guessing I go to 4 different points in sequence or individually and do various sub-bits. I'll send you all the data I have for future reference. Then we leave. And then we leave. So construct Proxima Shipyard at Proxima Construction Site requires Hangar Module 3. So Carl Emmerichs then calls us Templar. Good to see you. Warden Trace told me you have some idea how to secure resources for the Proxima. Ah, yes, correct. I've been in contact with some officials from the Outer Lands. They have very well organized production chain. What with the Zuracaro installation. My plan was to make a deal with them, we help them out in return, rise the bulk of the resources. I've arranged a meeting with Harris, a representative of the Outer Lands in this question. Any questions? Can the Outer Lands be trusted, or even Harris for that matter? I mean, this is the Outer Lands we're talking about. Apparently, they're not well known for being trustworthy. It didn't play much of the first 2 games. Haven't really touched the third one. Honestly, Templar, I expected more from you. Just because he represents a large band of cutthroats from a secluded section of Gemini doesn't mean they will stab us in the back. Probably not yet. Simple fact is that we need resources and they can supply them. Hope you had a chance to think this through, Carl. Let's talk about something else. Do you have any idea what they might need help with? No, Harris didn't tell me anything, but I doubt they're asking for something big. I can't really see them asking us to conquer the Triad for them. That's probably actually what they want. That would be ridiculous. We'll see, I suppose. Let's talk about something else. I should get to work. Where should I meet Harris? I've already sent the coordinates to your helmsman. It's in the Outer Lands border. Harris should wait for you there on a ship called the Apis. Amphid. Yes, I know it didn't say Amphid, but it kind of looks like it should say Amphid, and I think Amphid's a fun word to say. So we need to rendezvous with Harris, and we also apparently need to upgrade Concordia to level 3. Oh look, the new frigate is gone. Not frigate, cruiser. And if you were paying attention to the construction manual, HAB level 3 requires 1,500 ore, I believe, which I just don't simply have right now. So let's add the newest ship to my ever-growing fleet. Okay, who hit what? I'm guessing we were hit because we weren't at that angle. But that's a moot point. We have to rendezvous with Harris. And we have incoming corvettes, but you know what? We're in big ships. I'm sure the local garrison can handle it. They usually do. Alright, because this is a storyline mission, we can jump there immediately with a free T-drive charge, which is what passes for FDL in this game. Because I think sublight, while fast, isn't faster than light, and we already had a discussion on this subject a couple episodes ago, I don't remember which. So we can go there manually, but I don't feel like editing that much out of this video, so let's just jump there. And here we go. Where are we? Oh, we're all the way over here. A whole lot of red area. And that's the cruiser Fenner, so that's not the Apis. But let's hail them anyway. Harris, it's nice of you to finally arrive, Imp. Sorry to keep you waiting. Why did you want to meet out here? Why not on Soilmud? And I thought Apis was hard to pronounce. My superiors sent me here to do business, not chit-chat. We're willing to make a deal with you, but there will be no negotiations on the terms. Take it or leave it, huh? The Triad simply doesn't want to budge and make matters even worse. The Kerns have been talking with the Union boroughs. Can't have that. If we can't control Luni Station, neither will the Union. Don't like where this is going. Only Emirates will do. Shut up, I said no chit-chat. You take over the operation of Lumi, and we'll have a deal. Zuracaro supplier with resources. Answer. If I had the Diplomacy 3 perk, I can have, say, the Triad and other factions should see that our two factions are together on this. I'm hoping I'll see some of your ships there too, which would probably mean that the Outer Land sends some ships to aid in the taking of this starport. But I opted for a different perk, my last perk point, so the only option I have is Luni for Zuracaro. I don't like transactions done in blood, but it's a deal. Good, and then he ends the transmission. Chatty fella. And then I'm assuming he jumps away. Oh no, that actually is the Apis. Yep, there he goes. So we need to blow up a station, or at least take a station. Where am I going? Oh, all the way down here. Oh, goody. Because nothing says attack a station in secure territory on the other side of an extremely hostile area. Now, I could cut a bloody swath clean through to it, and I probably should. Tactically wise, it doesn't really aid anyone if you have your territories in isolated areas cut off from each other. But it looks like if I do that, I'm going to have to cut clean through half the map. So apparently several factions of the Outer Lands are, well, not friendly. Like these guys.
All hands be advised. We've entered a hostile region.
Well, of course we did. A destroyer. Let's send troops over. So everyone familiar with boarding actions, basically the My troops go over, they move from place to place, slowly losing troops to, I guess, the ship's defenders and / leaving people behind to secure the area. I can actually expend a large number of people to pillage areas, which would basically render them unable to be used. But I like moving through with as little casualties as possible because the last part you need to take the bridge as many people as possible in order to actually take it. And since I have plenty of people, we guaranteed to take the bridge, which means we now have a tier class destroyer. So once we take a vessel, we can salvage it for parts, which gets us materials. We can send it to headquarters, which makes it and make it ready to serve the fleet, which means we expend materials to actually turn into an AI ship. I can put it in my garage, which means I expend credits to actually make it a player-controlled vessel. But I'm in a battleship and I don't really need a destroyer right now. Well, I can sell it and transfer the credits to my account, which nets me credits. Or, as I was talking about in the construction screen of Fordia itself, I can send the hull to headquarters for research to allow construction, which at current status, I would be able to build more AI-controlled ships of this class. And that's what I like doing normally.
You picked on the wrong guy.
Oh look, Fenrir-class cruiser. Probably could have taken this cruise, tried to see if I could take this cruise. Unfortunately, every time you do a boarding action, your troops need to rest between hand, and certain storyline vessels have what's known as a biometric shield. Prevents transport. I end up with a tier class destroyer as opposed to a Fenrir class.
Hostile target eliminated.
But that was kind of sort of ish, almost fun, but not really. I mean, it was.
Engaging sublight.
Alright, again, don't want to travel through hostile space, so let's just jump there.
Setting course. High radiation detected, Captain.
Oh, goody. So this station is either in the middle or bordering a radioactive nebula. Because that makes perfect sense.
We're entering enemy territory.
Of course we are. And a battle started, and we're actually heavily outnumbered. A massive pile of battleships at my disposal, and we're heavily outnumbered. Alright, so I'm guessing this is where my fleet dies.
You're flying too close to the sun, Burra.
Sensors
Where
are
is
picking
my
up a
fleet,
hostile installation nearby.
Let's get this mother.
Hull integrity is at 75%.
How? Did I only have one Zodiac? You know what?
Hostile target eliminated. Hull integrity is at 75%.
Cloak the ship.
Engaging cloak.
Okay, where is my fleet? 'Cause I'm just seeing me.
Engaging sublight.
Jump here. Apparently we're heavily damaged. I'm thinking the Nebular's doing that.
We're in no shape to continue.
Clearly, medium repair drones aren't going to be enough, because I just used an entire thing of medium repair drones, and I think the hull's actually still going down. kidding. Sit over here. Yeah, I actually left my entire fleet behind. No wonder why it was so lopsided. And I don't have enough materials to rebuild that cruiser. Alright. Alright. Can I not order them through? I'm guessing not. Okay then.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
That's an inactive T-gate. But it is friendly territory. Look, that's an active T-gate.
Course.
Continue repairing the vessel. It's a Loki-class frigate. Well, let's head to this relay satellite real quick. I'm curious to see if I can hack it to get the location. And see what's actually here. There are a couple corvettes.
Firing at will.
No one attacks me on it, tell about it.
Okay, this time we're deploying fighters.
All squadrons launched.
Oh, Freightliner. Can we take the Freightliner? I'm not quite certain what I'm going to do with the Freightliner. It is basically a very large cargo vessel.
I won't die today. Not today.
Cloak.
Target neutralized. Cloaking system initiated.
Alright, and because I don't have nearly enough Marines as I did last time, there's only a 42% chance of taking this vessel. Although we did manage to pacify the ship. So, it looks like we can't actually research the vessel. I'm guessing where it said research Mark II ships, that's what it meant. That, or it's a Freightliner, which is about the size of a super capital ship. And, I don't believe I'm at a level high enough to actually use it right now. But I can transfer, but I can still, so I can't put it in the garage, and I can't send the whole to headquarters for allow construction. Because it's a cargo vessel, it can't be used for military purposes, so I can't have it be an AI-controlled vessel. But I can still salvage it for parts and get over 2,000 materials from it. Or I can sell the Freightliner and transfer just over 4.5 million credits to my account, which is practically double. So we're going to do that instead. Right, and the relay satellite was where again? Here. Alright, so we're just going to hack it. Okay, who's shooting? Oh, those are the fighters. We should recall those. Alright, now we have zone data. So now we can see this small little zone has 3 gas collectors. I'm assuming the station that we need to get to, and the relay satellite. So on that note, let's
Course set.
continue to the
Initiating sublight.
on our Armada. I need to go here. You go to here and exit. Where is... So I need to enter here.
We're taking damage, Captain.
What from?
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
Alright, just head over here for real quick. Just fly wherever, so that way we're not in a ship killing nebula.
All hands be advised. We've entered a hostile region.
Of course we have. So you can't actually have the AI ships jump out. Ships right now. Bunch of gunships by the looks of it. I mean, we're in friendly territory. Okay, so I managed to figure out how to get the AI ships through the T-gate. Took longer than I would have liked, but we got there. So now we wait for the fleet to find us. Or, you know, we just fly towards them. Of course, then we just simply have to backtrack, so... But it does give us time to repair the ship. And look at this anomaly.
Initializing scan.
On the plus side, the fleet's almost here. And the fleet's here. Well, sort of. Okay, so now that the fleet's here,
Affirmative. Engage
let's head back.
Course adjusted. Radiation readings exceeding acceptable levels.
Yeah, let's try to get in and out before the nebula melts the fleet.
HQ reports one of our fleets have returned.
Alright, this seems more like it.
You're flying too close to the sun, Burak.
Alright, launch fighters,
We're coming up on a hostile
target something. And let's turn around because we're actually flying ahead of the fleet.
Roger that. Commencing automated firing sequence. HQ reports one of our fleets have returned.
Kill the engines and kill the Burra.
Alright, let's send troops over to the cruiser.
Cloaking system initiated.
You're flying too close to the sun, Burak.
Kill the engines and kill the Burra. I won't die today. Not today. Today, I enter history.
Okay, I'm not certain I'm going to have enough troops after this, but okay, so we have a 30% chance to take the bridge. And we failed to capture the bridge. Okay. In that case, we kill it.
Hull integrity
Alright.
is at 70%.
Let's try to shoot the platforms before the nebula melts the ship.
Engaging sublight.
Alright, so the ship is actually melting. So I'm actually going to hang out here
Things are getting interesting.
and watch from a safe distance. Hopefully I'm far enough away from the nebula that my ship just doesn't combust. And I watch my fleet. Nope, my ship is actually still melting. Okay. I am going to need more powerful healing drones. Come on.
Realigning course.
Let's jump to this station.
Engaging sublight.
We should probably have the fighters be recalled. I keep forgetting to do that. Is my fleet with me? Yes, it is. On the plus side, we didn't lose a single AI ship. Maxon's still here, Nika's still here, Tara's still here. Still have five battleships, and 3 cruisers. So it looks like the nebula only melts my ship. Oh look, we have another Zodiac built. Goody.
All death were flying through hostile space.
Just fight these guys. Because why not?
Enemy down.
Today I enter history.
Watching the battleship just annihilate these gunships.
I die, I'll take you. No one attacks me, and there's to tell about it.
And the Corvette.
By all his rights.
Target destroyed.
I don't know if I already have the Loki class of Corvette, but we're just going to try to see if we can take it. So I like taking ships for boarding actions. We have enough people to actually take this frigate. And we've taken the frigate. And we do not actually have it researched, although I can sell it for over 500,000 credits. But I like having ships. So we'll send that back to be researched and
Realigning course.
head back to the... Not head back to the rear
Agents of
shipyard,
light.
because we've never been there before, but let's head to the rear shipyard. Because that nebula is melting my ship faster than we can take everything. And faster than I can heal. Because if I had stayed and even watched the AI ships fight in the battle, my ship probably would have melted before that would have been successful. So we need to rethink our strategy. I need better repair drones. I need some way of preventing radiation from just melting my ship. Which probably means I need to invest in various upgrades. I got anything on research? But these are all guns, this one. Propulsion. The Avalon sensors. Halo shield reinforcement. Don't even know what this blink one does. Unity is for the grappler and Han is for fighters. Now let's go with enhanced fighter sensors. I should point out every unit of resources that I'm spending on research and building ships, I can't use to actually upgrade Concordia. I mean, I need 25,000 ore, 3,000 gas, and 2,500 materials to get to the level 3 module, and I have just shy of 11,000 ore, I should say, 11,000 gas, and 3,624 materials. So everything but the ore. Now what we hit. How hard is it to fly in a straight line? Seriously, people. So let's dock with this place. All shiny and new, well, at least on the outside. Alright, so let's just sell everything that we managed to pick up from the broken hulls of our enemies. Rearm the heavy weapons. She doesn't have a garage. You'd think someplace called Shipyard would have a garage, but it doesn't, so well. Okay, so dry dock. Look at enhancements. Light weapon damage, shield damage. Of course, I think these are just for the guns, so. Now, I have no idea if seeing energy, I don't know if that increases shield strength by 30% or it drops it to 30% of the existing. No, it actually boosts it, but I don't know if that gives, it doesn't actually say anything about, I mean, it says it right here, radiation resistance 30%. Well, this one gets me 50, but doesn't boost the shield. I'd rather have radiation resistance, truth be told, because that's what's been eating my ship. Of course, I don't know if that gets me actual, like, environmental resistance from environmental damage, or it just affects weapon fire. But I don't know if the radiation resistance affects like environmental damage, basically the nebula eating my ship, or if it just affects radiation weapon damage. But I'm unaware of there an actual weapon that's radiation based. As far as I know, it's just plasma energy and kinetic. Or projectile, I should say. And there are things here that get me, yeah, energy, projectile, and plasma resistance from the OPSA ones. And then the Zindu gets me, well, did get me 30% shield strength and extra radiation resistance, but I'd rather have 50 radiation resistance than extra shields, because it wasn't the shields that were failing, the radiation was eating the hull. Just increase the thrusters as well. And increase the troopers. Don't really use the grapple. Well, I mean, I do use the grapple sometimes when I remember that it's actually there. Let's also upgrade the sensors. I know I said I don't normally deal with the upgrades, but no, I'm here. Chance the grappler to weaken the shields of the grappled object. That one just increases grapple range. Interesting. Let's mount that. And yes, I'm technically going to the bottom of the list and just picking out whatever's the most expensive upgrade. Because I'm crazy like that. Gotta get back to the fight.
Carry on, Captain. May we see each other soon.
And I forgot to actually look up to see if there's any better repair bots here. There are. Only 10 of them, but they're here. Interesting. I really gotta look at some of these things better. So don't often look at equipment. It's just basically full equipment that I have of, well, I added the shield booster, but it's basically the repair drones, damage amplifier, which I haven't changed since the beginning of the game, the shield booster, and the scavenger swarm, which is what I use sometimes on derelicts. But, you know, I have all this extra equipment just basically lying around that I'm not using. That I could use, but I don't. Alright, so let's try this again. Hopefully the ship doesn't melt as quickly.
Affirmative. Gauge sunlight. source. Sensors are reading high radiation around us. Aligning ship to plane.
Because something tells me no matter which direction I come in from, the nebula is going to melt my ship.
You're flying too close to the sun for us.
Hostile installation identified nearby.
I hope your cargo hold has room for my missiles.
One down. I mean, it does look like it's helping. Radiation protection. It doesn't look like I'm taking nearly as much damage. And the shields definitely aren't as low as... Well, the shields haven't failed yet, so there's no explanation other than radiation fields as to why my ship's health is being lowered. Ooh, what are you? Oh, a battleship. Oh yeah, keep forgetting, launch fighters. Someone blew up something. Kind of interesting, all the other capital ships just simply stand there. Well, basically stand wherever, well, they don't move, and they just basically broadside everybody. There's that cruiser. Look at the taking.
Port shield down to 25%, Captain.
Use the shields.
Starboard shield down to 25%, Captain.
Let's repair the ship again. Because while we haven't really lost shields yet. The nebula has been eating into the hull. So that's dead. Who was left? Just this pair, just a couple platforms. Most of it. Reboost the shield. Shield generator's down. That platform's gone. So this destroyer's left.
Incoming transmission. It's Harris. Patching him through.
And we've captured the area. So you kept your end of the bargain, Imp, and so will we. Tell Emmerichs you can expect the freighters to start coming soon. And so it's thank you, and let me say it's been, and I'm guessing it cuts us off. Or if I still had Diplomacy 3, which I still don't have, I could say, hey, I stuck my neck out for your cause, how about some appreciation? Which means I guess he's supposed to give us something extra, but we don't have that option, so we can't use it. They've ended the transmission, sir, says the first officer. Figures, let's go to get to Rainer and let him know what to expect. And we need to inform Trace of our progress. Oh, there's another freight line. Let's take this through boarding action. Call the fighters.
I almost didn't see your leadership.
Just have them move through everything, and we have 25 Marines left to take the bridge at 50% chance. And they failed to capture the bridge. Okay. So now we go back to killing them. A shame. But, oh well. I'll say this, the Freightliner's certainly got a lot of health. Entire fleet's pummeling it, and it still takes forever to die. So... let's dock here, just simply because we can, and I want to see what's actually here. What's worth taking this thing for. Sell everything. And it does have a dry dock, so we can rearm and repair. And a shipyard, so... we'll buy the heavy repair drones to replace the ones that I used. And we're going to leave. And we're going to go to the map. And we're just going to jump out of there before the nebula melts the ship again. I have Maxim's fleet pair off here. So while I'm still on the map, apparently got close enough to trip the next mission thing. So Rainer Trace says, Templar, any news? We reply with the broker to deal with the outer lands for the resources. The first trader should be coming in soon. Excellent news. We can start on the main hull as soon as you give the order. I'll praise Emmerich for the latest development. Proximal hull research text unlocked. One more thing. Intel sent word that they're seeing an increase in the appearance of triad clansmen on our borders. They could be somewhat aggravated with your actions. I can't understand why. Nice understatement.
Concordia is at your service, Captain.
Alright, so construct Proxima shipyard. Something. So if we dock... Leonard Maxton comes up with Templar Pelgary. Thanks for finding the time to meet with me. Of course, Maxton, what's up? Magnet's in trouble. Senchuk is weighing heavily on our territory and we won't hold much longer. We need help. Let's help each other, Leonard. We have gripe with Senchuk in the core worlds, and there's also something we're working on that should help. Proxima, I know. I prodded Ray while he was inquiring about on Ion Tech. We can absolutely help with that. Will Ion Tech agree? They may not have a choice. They won't have a choice. Magna will nationalize the company if necessary. If you have any questions, tell me more about the Senchuk issue. Frankly, we can hold on for a month more tops. Any longer than that would be a miracle. Pressing on our southern border, circumventing Helmsford. Attacking from the Maelstrom. How is that possible? We sent scouts in to check it out. Only one came back. That's how we know they're amassing a large fleet inside the Maelstrom. If that fleet goes on a march, we're done. We deployed some structures that prevent the EM surges from the Ion Storm from damaging their ships. Knocking those inhibitors out would make our job a lot easier. Let's talk about something else. And let's actually ask about more about Ion Tech. Not much to tell really. Ray was talking about their work on energy cores. Know for a fact they worked on the Titan project some years back. That bugger needed a lot of juice. We can open up the company's data records and Ray can sift through it all he wants. Great, let's talk about something else. And then actually I believe that's all we need to know. Let's get to work. Meet me on or near the Maelstrom. Affirmative. I'm not quite certain why it says meet us there on account of... yeah, Ion Storm melted a hull. He's actually commanding the Honor Armada for all intents and purposes. So next thing we gotta do is we got to go... where are we going? Alright, so it looks like we have to go here to attack this fleet, known as the Thunder Troops, which has a fleet power of 4,869, should be easy given the fact that the Honor Armada has a fleet power of 25,387. The entirety of my space fleet is here. But apparently this Maelstrom causes EM damage, so I'm expecting a fight similar to how this place handled things. Still not quite certain what exactly I'm going to do with it. I can't exactly reinforce it easily because a whole lot of not nice things between here and there. Well, technically, if things would stop ramming into other things, I could see about, where was it? Taking wherever, actually no, that's under the unit. I was going to say, this is a wormhole here. I could technically take whatever region, whoever controls this region, I could take it from them and build a T-gate there, which should help reinforce this area, but it's under control of the Union, which is, well, not exactly an ally, because then it would be green, but at the very least a neutral/friendly party, and I probably should not get into any more wars than I absolutely should. So, on that note, kind of wish I had done more, but wishes were horses, then pigs would fly. Yes, I know that doesn't actually make any sense, but I keep saying it like it does. But on that note, I shall call it here. Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.